good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very good day because today the news came out that EIP 1559 is greenlit for release in July. So, folks, in this video, I'm going to run through some technical analysis, talk about some very important things that you need to be aware of going on the chart, and also run through some major news stories, giant catalysts happening with Ethereum in the near future that you need to know about. So, folks, if you like the sound of that, I want to ask you to please do me a favor and do yourself a favor. Like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. Because, folks, this is going to be one of the most important updates in Ethereum's history. So, if I didn't already say it, EIP stands for Ethereum Improvement Proposal, and this is one of the largest developments in Ethereum's history, and it is greenlit to release in July. Why is this important? Well, right now when you make transactions using Ethereum, there's a gas fee taken that goes to miners. Now, from now on, well, once EIP 1559 is rolled out, instead of that fee going to miners, it will be burned. Why does this matter? Because Ethereum will now become deflationary. The circulating supply of Ethereum will now decrease over time once this proposal is fully rolled out. This is one of the biggest developments in Ethereum's history. Folks, this is game, set, match. This is game over. What are we still even talking about here? Why is anyone still having a conversation about Cardano, Polkadot, Elrond, Zilliqa? Look, folks. Let me be straight here. I like Cardano. I like Polkadot. I like Elrond. I own all of them. And, Tezos, Zilliqa, they're all great. Okay, I like them. I'm sure they can even do well. I'm sure a lot of people will probably get return on investment holding them over long term. Listen, I'm not a blockchain maximalist. Okay, I think multiple different cryptocurrencies can exist in the same niche, doing similar things, and they can all succeed at the same time. I don't think it's winner takes all. With that being said, Ethereum is so well positioned to be the winner in the end, because right now what's happening right now doesn't matter. The hype behind Binance and Binance Smart Chain and whatever the current day's hype is doesn't matter. What matters is the finish line. What matters is what this ecosystem looks like near the end of this bull run. And folks, Ethereum is so well positioned. Not only do we have EIP 1559 set to launch in July, but we also have, by the way, Ethereum 2.0 is being rolled out in several phases. One major part of Ethereum 2.0 is Ethereum will move from a proof of stake model to a proof of, from a proof of work model to a proof of stake model in order to reach consensus. In order to do so, large quantities of Ethereum are going to be locked up for extended periods of time. So with that alone, Ethereum is already deflationary. But now with EIP 1559, almost a guarantee, just a matter of time. Folks, don't sleep on Ethereum. What would you rather own, Google or Bing? I think Ethereum is very well positioned to be the Google of cryptocurrency. Look, again, I'm not a blockchain maximalist. I own a lot of these other smart contract, scalable, interoperable, projects. I'm sure a lot of them are going to do well. I like Cardano, I like Polkadot, I like Elrond. Tezos and Zilliqa are interesting as well. There's a bunch of these projects doing similar things in a similar vein. Okay. I'm not trying to be a hater, but what I am trying to do is really ring the alarm bells on how well positioned Ethereum is to really take over this ecosystem, because they're all essentially trying to do the same thing. They're trying to be the scalable, interoperable, smart contract platform that everyone uses. That's what all these, Cardano, Polkadot, Elrond, Zilliqa, Tezos, Ethereum, that's what they're all trying to do, except Ethereum has all the users, all the developers, all first mover advantage, and the vast majority of value locked in its ecosystem. So it has a massive advantage over all of its competitors, and it has massive improvements all throughout this year. So not only do we have EIP 1559 now greenlit for July, Jesus, but we also have optimistic rollups happening sometime this month. Optimism is a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum that will hopefully take the transactions per second from the current tens to thousands and improve the gas fees. One of the biggest issues with Ethereum, one of Ethereum's biggest failures, and it's because of Ethereum's failures, which there are many, that things like Cardano, things like Polkadot, all these other ecosystems, Binance Smart Chain, are taking off, because there have been failings with Ethereum. But again, guys, lots of improvements quickly happening. And then in April, on April 15th, we had the Berlin hard fork, which further aims to improve gas fees, improvements to the Ethereum virtual machine, and some safety elements of Ethereum. So we have back-to-back major rollouts of Ethereum 2.0 this month, next month, which aims to improve the gas fees. And then we have a deflationary mechanism for Ethereum being introduced in July. Folks, what are we still talking about with all these other coins? Ethereum is going to be the winner in the end, in my opinion. Again, folks, I'm not a blockchain maximalist. I'm not an Ethereum maximalist, okay? I like a lot of these other projects. I own a lot of these other projects. I'm sure a lot of these other projects are going to continue to do well, probably take some market share. But with that being said, we cannot ignore how well positioned Ethereum is to be on top of the market if these rollouts are successful. And, well, we'll see. Time will tell, right? So let's take a look at some of the very important on-chart factors that you need to know about. Well, right now, I think Ethereum is forming a wedge, a bit of a wedge here, descending triangle. I know there's a lot of lines here, but we're going to break down what's important here. So bottom line is we're likely to see a breakout here, whatever way we break out. We're likely to trend in that direction for quite some time. Now, to kind of explain some of the relevant support levels here. So we were kind of in this ascending triangle for a while. 1475 around that price is kind of the breakout point. So 1475 is going to act as some kind of floor support, in my opinion, as well. If we extend this support line from based off these 2 wicks, we can see how that support line was actually pretty price reactive and still relevant to this day, because we wicked off these regions, support here, support here, support here, and now acting as resistance. So this is going to be a relevant resistance level. As we can see, even in the short term, it has been price reactive and has been relevant. Also, based off these 2 wicks here, I think we can draw a support line. So we're kind of within this very narrow range here. So we're just going to move, I believe, within this range until we see a breakout. Whenever we break out of this thing, we're very likely to trend in that direction for quite some time. I think, based off this, a narrowing channel or wedge or pennant, whatever you want to call it, I think it's likely than not that we break down. But, then again, we'll just have to see whatever way we break out. Let's take a look at our indicators to get a sense of what is going on. So let's begin by looking at the daily here. So the daily is starting to show some strength. MACD histogram ticking up, weighted MACD bullish cross on the way up, stochastic RSI on the way up. Regular RSI having a bit of a leg up, not doing anything very interesting. So daily is starting to show some strength. Let's take a look at the 12 hour. 12 hour, we're seeing some weakness. Bearish cross from the MACD, stochastic RSI on the way down. Regular RSI going for a bit of a leg down, although macro higher highs and higher lows. And regular MACD bullish crossover, but it's not doing a whole lot. Doesn't really seem to be too confident of direction. So I'm starting to see some weakness on the 12, 6 hour, but then on the 6 hour, I don't know how well that weakness is going to carry over, because 6 hour is looking bullish. Weighted MACD looks like it wants to have a bullish crossover. Regular MACD seems to want to have a bullish crossover as well. Stochastic RSI in the oversold region, bullish crossover. For those who don't know, stochastic RSI is great for understanding and identifying shifts in trends, but not the extent to the shift in the trend. For that, I believe our other indicators are helpful here. And again, RSI making macro higher highs and higher lows. So again, we're starting to see some strength through the lower hourlies. Let's take a look at the 2. Look at the 2. 2 hour might have a bullish crossover. We're getting bullish divergence on our RSI here. Look at this. Very clear bullish divergence on the RSI. Yeah, that looks good. And then let's finish off with the 1 hour here. 1 hour, yeah, just a continuation of the 2. Ooh, look at this, folks. Very interesting. The price action does not want to go down. So stochastic RSI typically loves to move from one extreme to the other, one extreme over, overbought to oversold, overbought to oversold. When it's in the overbought, and it's supposed to have that leg down to the oversold, and it doesn't. It tries to, has the bearish crossover, tries to have the leg down, and it can't. It has a bullish crossover kind of while it's trying to have the leg down. It's telling you price does not want to go down. So very bullish to see. So in the short term, I believe we're going to see some kind of impulse up. Larger time frame starting to see some strength, but then 12 and 6, it's concerning. So it's not very confident, although in the short term, I think we're going to have some kind of leg up here. Ultimately, I think we need to see how we react off this red line. If we can start to break above this red line, and hold above it, I think we're going to see bullish continuation. Strong support, resistance for Ethereum right around 1600, because it's a nice psychological level, but also 1630. 1630 is where we see that volume really start to build up, and where we got rejected previously last time we started to pump. So it's going to be a very important level to get above to see bullish continuation. Aside from that, 1700 to about I'd say 1720, very key resistance. We tried to pump up after the original dump. We got rejected off those regions. So that I think is the next important region. And then aside from that, I think the next most important level is kind of the $1,800 level in terms of resistance, because that's where we saw a large spike in volume. We got wicked off those regions. So these are the three key, most important resistance levels to look out for in order to see bullish continuation. And if we break down, again, I think the original breakout point from the macro ascending triangle around 1475, 1460, I think this area will act as some kind of support. If that doesn't hold, I think strong support really starts to build up at around 1350 to 1300. Lots of volume starting to build up in those regions. And then aside from that, I think the key area is 1220 to about 1250. I'd say 1220, 1230 is really where we see the most amount of volume being traded. Lots of volume. I do expect there to be significant support for Ethereum in those ranges. So let's take a look here at some of our indicators. So look at this. The 200 EMA is right below us, right above the original breakout point, above 1575. I think that is going to be strong support moving forward. And I think the key EMA, exponential moving average, that we need to look out for is the 100 EMA on the 6 hour, because the 100 EMA on the 6 hour is a very strong support level. See, once we pumped and dumped, we found support nearby it, pumped, dump, found support on it. So this was a very key support level. This was the level that we fell down to. This was the level that we found support when we fell down. So what was once previous strong support will then act as strong resistance once we break down below it. So this is going to be a very key level to look out for, to try to get above, and that's right at about $1,600 right now. So $1,600 to $1,630 is going to be that key level to get above and hold above if we want to see bullish continuation for Ethereum in the short term. Now, another very important chart to look at, trying to understand what the next big move for Ethereum is the Ethereum Bitcoin pair. We have been reacting beautifully, exactly off my support and resistance levels on the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing. This is a very tight range to be stuck in between. We cannot move within this very tight range forever. Eventually, and sooner rather than later, we're likely to see a breakout from this very tight range. And whatever way we break out of this thing, I think we're likely to trend in that direction, and is likely to translate for the US dollar value of Ethereum. I also find that the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing can sometimes act as a leading indicator on the US dollar value, where we can find hidden bullish and bearish divergence, and sometimes big moves. We see them first happen on the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, and then it translates afterwards into the US dollar value. Not always, but I've seen it happen. So very important chart to look at. If we break down, I think this is the next key support level. If we break up, this is the next key resistance level to be aware of. So a very important chart to try and gauge what the next big move is. Again, be on the lookout for the breakout between this tight range here. Whatever we break out of this thing, I think will be the next big move for Ethereum, and I think will be very telling for trying to understand what way we break out of this wedge as well. Bitcoin dominance. For those who don't know, you could say along with me, for those who've been following the channel, because I often say the same thing when it comes to Bitcoin dominance, because I found a very quick and quick way to say what I want with this thing. So for those who don't know, Bitcoin dominance is the total value of Bitcoin in comparison to the total value of all cryptocurrency. Whenever it rises, altcoins typically suffer. Whenever it falls, altcoins typically benefit. If we see Bitcoin dominance start to rally and start to go for that leg up, that should tell you that it's going to place the dampers on the altcoins such as Ethereum. If we start to fall, and specifically if we fall below 57.5% in Bitcoin dominance, that is when the altcoins truly fly, in my opinion. So always a good chart to look at to try and gauge what the altcoins have within them. And again, it is always important to follow Bitcoin. Bitcoin affects the rest of the market. Bitcoin leads the market. If Bitcoin decides, if it decides to swan dive into nothingness, that is definitely going to affect Ethereum. If Bitcoin decides to just rally and pump $10,000 in a day, that is definitely going to affect Ethereum. It is always important to follow Bitcoin if you're in the altcoins as well. The most important support level for Bitcoin, I believe, is the 50 simple moving average on the daily. I'm in love with this support level. I will show you why. I took a look at different exponential moving averages and simple moving averages, and I believe on different time frames. And I believe the 50 simple moving average on the daily is perhaps the most important support level to try to understand when the end of the bull market was the last cycle. And so we can see that every time we fell during the bull cycle, we found support exactly on the 50 simple moving average. As soon as we broke below, we fell back up to retest it, and we got rejected. That was the end of the bull cycle. That was the beginning of the bear cycle, where we had years of correcting and consolidation. So extremely important moving average to look at, support level to look at. I think it very closely called the end of the bull cycle and the beginning of the bear cycle. So as well, we can also see that in beginning January, kind of mid-January, once we had our pump and our dump, our first major correction of this bull cycle, we found support exactly on the 50 simple moving average on the daily, and that is exactly where we stopped correcting and exactly where we began our next major impulse up. Look how beautifully this was the exact level. Doesn't, folks, people, you could look at so many different indicators, ribbons, peaks and volumes, different EMAs, SMAs, support, resistance, fib levels, pitchforks. There's endless ways to draw support and resistance. But it was the 50 simple moving average on the daily that best called the floor of the last dump. As soon as we touched it, that's exactly where we stopped correcting and exactly where we began our next major impulse. So folks, this is going to be a very, very important support level moving forward. If Bitcoin breaks down from the key level about $47,000, $46,000, I do think we're having that next leg down. And again, 42,000, I think it's going to be very strong support. This previous peak at around 42,000 coincides perfectly with the 50 simple moving average on the daily. If Bitcoin goes for that leg down and if it falls back to retest this thing, I'm longing the shit out of that. Now, folks, I'm not a financial advisor. These videos are not financial advice. What excuse me, what happened in the past is not a guarantee of what can happen in the future. Okay, these markets are highly volatile. And just because we fall down to this does not guarantee that we won't fall further, although I do think it's very likely to be strong support for Bitcoin. So, folks, I know I mentioned a lot, but there's a lot of important stuff going on. If you like this video, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads, because we're gonna be bringing you the latest and greatest in crypto news and technical analysis all throughout this bull run. Join our Discord, link for that down in the description. We have semi-regular coin calls with our members where, we're trying to do this like maybe every weekend, every other weekend, where we discuss the market, answer questions. We have very helpful resources for learning technical analysis. We post news there. We talk to our Discord members. I talk to our Discord members on a daily basis. So check out our Discord as well. Join our, consider, if you like what we do, want to support us, consider joining our Patreon. Link for that down in the description. You get access to our VIP Discord group where we talk about low cap gems, interesting setups, very helpful resources. And again, we talk to our Patreon members, our VIP Discord members, and all our Discord members. I talk to all of you guys on a daily basis. So folks, join all that. Link down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care.